Cynthia uploaded the expenses, all of this was already pre-filled. This category line where you're going to see all of the codes, that's where you're going to use this to say the transaction is the 171. Actually, like I said, it's a bad example. Where are we at? Select all. This one here. Yeah, here. So this one, these inputs by the YPP team. There are three different categories. There's client supplies, program stipends, and client food, all in the one transaction that adds up to 178. So you're going to see a transaction in Expensify that's going to say 178 here. And so that's going to be your first clue. You can go into, what I always do is I search for 178 first and see what's going on. And then I'm going to see that the 3 got highlighted. So I'm like, okay, so that means I'm going to have to split this 3 different ways. So I go back to Expensify, and then I would hit import from computer. And then this is where it's really helpful to have Google Drive, because Google Drive is downloaded as a file onto my computer here, but I have pinned on my, and this is part of the steps and the procedures that we wrote. I pinned the folder where all of those receipts are getting collected here. So I just quickly click on the first one there, and then it's 178, right? And as for Target, so those are the three different times that they inputted for the same transaction, but the 3 different categories that receipt is broken into. So I select the first one, right? And then so it gets uploaded. And then here it would be, I don't know, say it was that, and then the program type would be that. And then depending on where you're at, community wellness or education, and then it should be restricted. It should not say unrestricted. And what I usually do is I hit save. I can delete this once it's saved, right?
Yes.
Okay. So once I save, this is Target. Where did it go? Here it is. So this is what you would see. You would just fill out that information there, upload it, and then what I do is I hit save, and say it's client food, client transportation. What was it? What were the 3 categories? It was client supplies, program stipends, and client food, right? So I would save it once, and then I hit split expense, and I can add a split since there's 3. The first one is 2118. Does everybody see that? 2118. 21.18. And that's going to be, what was that? What was the category for that? Anybody catch that?
Client and food. It
was client supplies. And then the next one is 150 for program stipends. So that would be stipends.
So George, you selected supplies, but you said you wanted to catch client supplies.
Thank you for that. $150. And then it automatically fills in the very last one for you. And it should, I mean, it's not a perfect match. I didn't put the 61 cents or the 16 cents, so that $6.98 looks a little different here. But essentially, it'll code that. And you can split it as many times as you need to. You can add another category if it's, I don't know, whatever category. You can just continue to break down that receipt as many times as you need. So it's a little bit cleaner to do it this way it's a little bit cleaner to break down your receipts when you're reconciling on Expensify, because you just do it once, you hit save, and then it just breaks them all up. But for the purposes of the tracker, the Google form cannot do that. So we have to just enter it in manually 3 different times.
George, I kind of want to just add into this, like if you want to go ahead and like edit the categories, you see how the project education department, and if you're splitting it 3 ways, you can actually do it all at once here. You just have to click the little edit icon there, and you see how here you don't even have to you don't even have to go back outside and do the project coding. You could do it all here at once.
That's
So
interesting.
now you've
I was
got
going back and then going to each one and then making sure they were all.
yeah. So here's like a 1 page, 1 stop, where you're breaking into the 3. It automatically will sum it up for you. The very last one, if it's just 3, down here where you said total, and then you here at the very same page, you can go ahead and just break it down to the 3 different programs and departments that it belongs to. And once you hit save, as George was saying, it's going to automatically do it instantly, all 3 at once.
So then you'd hit save, and now the receipt is reflected on all 3 different categories.
Yes.
I
I just wanted to add one thing to that. I'm sorry, George. So this was like 178 expense. Just for us, when we're looking at this, it would be extremely helpful if when you're doing the split under this description, whoops,
total.
You could just say, I would even just say split expense and then 178. And that will just pretty much have it on all 3, and that way it'll let us know that that's where it goes.
Do you want to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. So it would just be, I don't want to split it again because it's going to want to split 2118, and we don't want to do that since we already saved it.
Yeah.
So, but when you're in there at that time, you'll just say split 178. And then just highlight that. And another cool thing about this is you can just copy that, and you don't even have to go out right now. All you could do is just hit, you can see the arrow right here. Just click on that. It'll take you to the next split, and then copy, paste. Next arrow. Instead of you coming in and out 3 different times,
If you move on to the next window, it does save it automatically. But once you're on the last window, like she's on now, you have to hit save in order for it to save.
And then now that we already went to all 3 without having to go in and out, you just hit save, and it's automatically going to do it. You see how to say description, split, split, split. So this is just letting us know the BB&T statement is showing 178, but the program manager had to split it in 3 different projects, and here it is.
Right.
And
that same split, so that we're noting, is the exact same thing that we're doing here. You have the 178. This informs that these 3 are connected, but it doesn't mean that the 178 was all billed towards client food or all billed towards client supplies. That's the exact same thing that was built into this spreadsheet that is reflected in Expensify. Any questions? Okay, and then the very last thing is going to be these rules, the expense rules. So under, there's many times that you have reoccurring charges that you, like for example, with YPP, the Young Parents Program, they are constantly buying $10 Metro cards or refilling the expense card, they're reloading the client's smart trip cards. So if you create these rules, and all you have to do is just create a new rule, and then you can say if it's a merchant that says Metro, the category is usually client travel for Metro. For in the purposes of YPP, I know that like For AmeriCorps, it would be, I think it is considered client travel as well. Travel project would be whatever grant you're gonna bill it against, and then your department, location, DC, and then that's all I fill out, and then I hit save rule. And then anytime that Expensify, when you upload that document, like Cynthia was showing us, anytime you upload that document and it sees MetroFair auto load, it's going to automatically apply the merchant, the category, and these tags, so that it makes the reconciling process a lot easier for you to get through. So it's if you don't do this, you're gonna have to input that it's client transportation each time. You have to put in that it's the family to family grant, and you also are always going to put that it's for community wellness. The only one that is not, so it's always restricted. I also have that pre-filled out. The description, I don't have that filled out for any of them because there's not a need to. It's not reimbursable, so I guess I could have that. And I just don't ever fill that out. But I apply it to I just save the rule. And like I said, every time you upload that report and you're working on them in here, those rules will start to automatically be filled out, and you can obviously type over them if it's not right. You can change them. It's not like because it's a rule, it doesn't allow you to change those categories. So and then from there, you just quickly upload the receipt and you move on to the next transaction. So it just cuts down on the time that you spend reconciling if you create those rules as you're learning them.